And we're live.
We're live. Hello
Weird.
and welcome back to your daily installment
Yeah,
of the podcast of Rattle On.
yeah. The only podcast.
Right on time.
Right on time, right on schedule. Yeah, we're always here. We're always watching.
We're always here for you in a way that no one else in your life ever will be.
Yeah. We're your friends. You can trust us. Send us your bank account details.
Absolutely, yeah. Maybe just let us live in your house.
Yeah. I mean, what if we already do?
Yeah. I mean, but it's a little bit cramped in the walls, so if you can just let me have your bedroom instead, and you can go sleep on the couch. Listener, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. And speaking of being incredibly parasocial with our listeners, we've got a lot to talk about. A lot of really big, important things have happened in Doctor Who since last week when we last uploaded.
There's been massive changes in this time.
Yeah. And I know last week we said we were going to talk about some things, and I've just got to come out and say it. I haven't watched Children of Earth. Still.
For fuck's sake, I know.
I tricked Luc into doing it and then didn't.
In case anyone's wondering, I have watched Children of Earth and 9 out of 10 episodes of Miracle Day. Granted, the Miracle Day was inebriated, but nonetheless, I watched it.
Yeah. Well, isn't the true miracle alcohol?
So true.
I think what they believe in Catholicism. Kind of.
I will say, the last time I watched an episode of Miracle Day, I watched it directly after watching the Minecraft movie and while absolutely piss drunk, and it was an improvement from the Minecraft movie. So what can I say? There you go.
Fair enough.
That's my review of Miracle Day. Better than the Minecraft movie.
Well, yes. Anyway, it's good to be back after, the last week since the last podcast we did. A lot of things have changed, and we're gonna talk about kind of the most important things to have happened in Doctor Who since then. We're gonna, talk about some really relevant, important stuff. But first, of course, we've got to get into the advice segment. Yeah.
The most important segment first, absolutely, the advice segment, because we understand you.
Yeah. Wubbly, the Doctor do. Yeah. So, today's, I forget, do we keep the askers anonymous? Maybe.
I'm pretty sure. We have so far.
Okay. Today's question comes from an anonymous asker who simply says, I'm hungry. What do I do? Now, there's a lot of places we could talk about here, right? Because I think if you're hungry, your first instinct might be to, go to a burger shop and then eat several people.
Happens to the best of us, really.
An important thing is you don't want to do that, because if you stop at that burger shop, sure, you might be at the one where you eat several people and turn them into skeletons because you're the master. But what if, in fact, you've accidentally stepped at the very similar burger shop that serves you a cup of tea and you drink it and you immediately die, like in the start of Revolution of the Daleks? So it's just too risky.
But the latter does mean that you do get to be in Revolution of the Daleks, which I think is worth death. Sure.
I like the episode.
I would lay down my life for Revolution of the Daleks. We have established this. We know this.
So, I guess I'll pass it to my host. What would you say is the best, what's the best thing to do if you're hungry?
I feel like, there are a lot of options. There's a lot of things that might come to you quite quickly. Like, you might think, if I can a good way to get food, obviously, is, by working with what's around you. And sometimes what's around you is other people, and you invite them in for tea, in order to try and, progress that eating situation. To kill and eat them. But that, as we've seen in stories like Paradise Towers, can end with you not getting to eat that bastard after all, as they go off in their bloody time and spaceship. So, it really is difficult. And then you might think, God, all right, what if I just go to a cafe? But then you're in fucking Dragonfire. So, I mean, I think it's season 24 all the way down.
Oh, yeah. So, halfway through that, I just got hit with the strong bolt of realization that there were more similarities than I thought between Paradise Towers and Countryside. Didn't want to think that.
Oh my god.
But,
Right, cool. That's a discovery to have made.
I mean,
oh my god,
there's not that many similarities. One of those episodes I like.
But I think, for example, Jack going, having his, ride in a blaze of glory at the end is very, PEX coded, if you think about it.
Sure.
In vibes. And PEX lives.
Yeah.
So that actually PEX lives is to suggest that PEX has become an immortal, like Captain Jack Harkness and like Captain Scarlet, as we have discussed on this very show.
I'm going to have to stop that down there. Remember the court order we got? We can't talk about that anymore.
Oh, yeah. No, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you who are wondering why we didn't upload for a whole week, there was some police action. It's fine. I, for one, welcome our new Dalek overlords. Food. I mean, I think the place where you can always find food, really the heart and soul that will keep your life together through thick and thin, is the food machine.
Of course.
It's reliable. It's always there for you. It's honestly one of my favorite companions.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
What better companion is there than food?
Exactly.
I'm trying to think if there's ever been some really dark Doctor Who story where the Doctor eats a companion. I think closest we have is Scherzer, right?
I guess, yeah.
Thing, but I'm
not kind
saying Scherzer's sort of, but
I need to re-listen to Scherzer. Because my mind of me was that probably happens in Necromantea, right? Fucking everything happens in Necromantea as long as it's bad.
Oh god, yeah. Necromantea is actually just a list of mortal sin. You know how it is. And then through sacrificing Necromantea, we can then be cleansed of all sin, and it'll all be purged from us all.
Well, speaking of sin and punishment and hell, I think the most important thing about food is whatever you do, whenever you eat it, whenever you're making food, or just kind of talking about food, you should film it for behind-the-scenes content.
Absolutely, because it makes for the best behind-the-scenes content out there, because it's what everyone really wants to know. What were they eating when they filmed?
Yes. So the first...
Deimos Rising.
Yeah. It's... Yeah. So... let's talk about the behind the scenes first. Maybe we'll circle back to them. But the behind the scenes of Deimos Rising are fucking brilliant. They reveal many things. I am not sure how much acting is it Beverly Cressman, person who plays Kate Lethbridge Stewart, and that had done before this. It's got a lot of soul, Deimos Rising.
Oh, absolutely. It's got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of, all of those sort of aspects to it.
It's got a cave.
It's got a cave. It's got a statue.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the statue.
Big old statue.
Yeah.
I love the statue, mate.
Yeah. It's got only the finest of 2004 CGI. 2003.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah. I guess we should probably introduce Deimos Rising to our audience. It'd make a change from everything else we've talked about. Deimos Rising, for those unaware, is released in 2004, I believe.
Yes.
Home video released under BBV. It's not BBV. It's Real Time Pictures, the better one.
Real Time Pictures.
Yes. It is a sequel of sorts to Downtime, starring Kate Lethbridge-Stewart and some bloke from Unit.
Yeah.
Played by the guy
who I think is interesting.
Yeah, he's a fun character. He plays acts level, yeah. But yeah.
He does, yeah, which is truly, risen from a small beginning to lofty heights. But I think it's interesting that it's called Deimos Rising, because if you look at other real-time pictures, things called real-time, they make things called downtime and wartime, and then Deimos Rising.
Yeah.
So were they too good for Deimos Time? Is that not fancy enough, or what?
Well, they'd also made a Shakedown Return of the Sontarans, which is the dumbest title. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, exactly. Shakedown Time would be way better, and also kind of funny because it sounds kind of like downtime. You got downtime, you got shakedown time.
There's also Mind Game, in which I think Ace dies, but it might not be Ace. It might just be someone else played by Sophie Aldred.
Shit. That's another expanded universe thing where Ace dies. Cool.
She gets better, probably. She gets better from a lot of things. All the horrific amounts of trauma she gets. And the fact that
there's one expanded universe thing where James Dean specifically kills her.
Oh, yeah!
That's fun.
Anyway, Deimos Rising. Yes.
Deimos Rising.
So, yeah, let's talk about our main characters. We've got Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, played by someone who can't act. And Douglas Cavendish, played by someone who kind of can.
Yeah, no, that's fair to say. I will say the person who plays Kate Stewart in this does look fairly similar to, is it Gemma Redgrave who plays her?
Gemma Redgrave, yeah. Knew her.
Yeah, so it's this thing where you're watching Deimos Rising and you're like, did Gemma Redgrave used to not be able to act? Or is this before she took lessons? Is there a massive before and after situation? And then you realize no, it's just someone who looks like her.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Downtime and Deimos Rising, the fact that these are the origin story for Kate Lethbridge-Stewart is, very funny.
Yeah.
But it also has the wartime effect. That's the other one that ends in time. Wartime, yes. Let's talk about wartime, actually. Wartime.
I watched that recently. We'll talk about wartime.
Wartime, another Real-Time Pictures production. This was the first one they made. They actually made it while Doctor Who was still airing, but it was released shortly after it was cancelled, I believe, in 1989.
Maybe, but they definitely, they made it while it was still airing because they were like, this is dog shit, we can do better.
Yeah. And they weren't quite right, in that it is not better than, well, I don't know when they made it. There's definitely some Doctor Who in the 80s that it's better than. It's not...
Time in the running.
Yeah, exactly.
Not hard, but it is.
Yeah. But, yeah, Wartime stars Benton. And it's basically just Benton having an extended PTSD episode.
Yeah, that's why they call it an episode, because it is, in fact, an episode.
And home video.
Doctor Who.
It's not. It's
It is to me.
Yeah, I do
It
like
is
Wartime, but I do have to know what was in their minds to be like, yeah, this is what Doctor Who should be. This is, Doctor Who's lost its way. Back in the 60s, it always used to be like surreal horror about mental health, which is actually a lot of real-time pictures stuff.
Yeah. There is some surreal horror about mental health in classic Who.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah. But yes, Wartime is good, but it also changes how you look at Benton forever. Because
it is odd to watch The Time Monster after watching that.
Yeah.
But again, we will get to that later.
We'll get to that later. Actually, it's very odd. We'll get to it. Anyway, back to Deimos Rising. That Deimos sure was rising. And by that I mean...
That Deimos sure did rise. Or something.
Yeah. I like the demon design in this. In that they're was that of pure 2000s CGI.
Yeah.
It's that. There's a lot going on. We haven't talked about the other character in this. Bald guy from the future.
Oh yeah, some fucking guy.
He's a time sensitive. He's from the future. He's astrally projecting into the past or some shit. And
probably
because he appears as a ghost for the first half, I was convinced for a while that he was Nicholas Briggs.
Anyone can be Nicholas Briggs if they just believe.
Well, according to Nicholas Briggs can be anyone.
Yep.
But yeah, he's actually my favourite character in Deimos Rising.
For me, I think it's got to be the statue.
Oh yeah, true. The statue's good. Or like the random Sodality priests who are chanting in that vision.
Oh shit, yeah, they were cool.
Yeah. It's a layered story. I don't quite get what it's trying to say. I think it's really trying to say, like, it would suck if there was a daemon. And it got you.
And honestly, so true.
Yeah. It's also, like, again, I think, like, Real-Time Pictures does a lot of, like, let's explore mental health. And not, like, terribly as well, as one might expect from Doctor Who home videos of the 90s. Douglas Cavendish, it's sad, man. But then he gets better. Actually, he doesn't, really. We do learn that he stole a shitload of stuff from Unit.
Which, honestly, based.
Yeah.
They're very Torchwood-coded, that, I will say.
Yeah, it is. Me walking into the Black Archive with my massive rucksack. Yeah. I think this is also like the origination of the Black Archive. I mean, it isn't called that, but like this is where that idea starts. Is in real-time stuff. Well, it's weird how much New Who Unit is derivative of real-time and is bad, despite real-time being great.
Yeah, that's the thing, that they made a derivative of it and they just absolutely fucked it.
Yeah.
They lost the source.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think they do some interesting things with Unit, and especially with Kate Stewart again. And that brings us to one of the main things we're gonna
story that I think is
not more recent than I think, and that is of course Flux. Yeah. Which we watched all of in one day.
Which is a great experience. 10 out of 10.
It's the best.
Would recommend.
It's the
6
best.
out of 6.
Yeah. That's how many episodes we watched.
So true.
Actually, we got kicked out of the room, so we had to watch the last one later, but still counts. And also, we couldn't see a lot of them
5.5 out of 5.5.
Because we couldn't turn the lights off in the room. But other than that, we basically watched. I need to rewatch Village of the Angels. That story is so dark. Could not see what was going on.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, where do we start with Flux? And we could start at the beginning, we could start at the end, or we could start in the middle.
I like in the middle. Once Upon Time. Let's start with
Once Upon Time, yeah. This is the episode where we learn that Dan got jilted. This is not brought up again.
And then at the end of Flux, he gets jilted again.
At the end, I don't know what you mean. At the end of Flux, him and Calvin is to make out, right?
I wish that was the case. Unfortunately,
I think when we got kicked out of the room, I watched a dodgy version of the episode on a bootleg site. So I might have got a different end. I'm so mad how little fucking Dan Venista fan. Let's go back to the beginning so we can not just talk about Dan Venista.
But I'm going to talk about Dan Venista a lot because I'm in fact now invested.
Yeah,
genuinely.
I knew it was a thing, but it is something that they don't tell you before you watch Flux, and they don't tell you a lot of things. I don't know who they are, but they don't tell you. But they don't tell you that the Dan Venista shit is every fucking line they have in the first 2 episodes.
Literally, all of it. All... And you see, if you haven't watched Flux, but you've talked to people who have, you see a couple of jokes about it or whatever, Dan Venista, and you hear it's just this thing of here's 2 guys, one of whom is
a dog man,
furry. And we're going to say that it would be funny if they fucked. But no! This is a fucking romantic tragedy. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why are they soulmate AUing at me?
Yeah. I knew that. It is... Yeah, Flux... I mean, Flux is good. Kind of. It's one Fluxillion out of 10.
One Fluxillion out of 10 always.
So we start with, 13 years fucking around. Then Carmenista shows up, says a load of yaoi shit to Dan.
Many such cases.
Also, we're introduced to several characters. The great thing about
I love...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love how they introduce characters but don't tell you why they are important or what their relevance is. So you're just oh, cool, that's some person somewhere. I'm sure Belle will be relevant later, and then she isn't.
I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or not, but I actually do love that. Flux is it gets set up and paid off. It sets stuff up and it does pay it off. Not fully, but every plot thread gets resolved. I think.
Yeah, I do really like how in Apocalypse is a good example of doing a lot of setup but doing it in a way that's interesting.
Yeah.
I do joke about how many things are set up because it is a bit silly.
Yeah.
But I think that it is genuinely quite well executed in the way it's done, in that it still feels like an episode as opposed to a trailer.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I want to say is Vinder's introduction, because it is so it's such a in a script like this, especially one that's been condensed, and you can tell that Flux has been condensed down a lot from its intended size. But it is you've got to be economical with writing, and Vinder's introduction, I really like. I think it sets up sure, what the fuck's he doing here? What do we get? And it's like, okay, is this just to show the flux? And it's like, no, this guy will come up later. And it establishes his character really nicely in that initial part. You get that he's got a grudge for someone. You know, it's good shit. It's
genuinely, yeah, good fucking shit. Vinda is good. I like Vinda.
I love Vinda. I will say, like, as much as I love, you know, Dan, and obviously Dan Bannister, I don't think he needed to be there. I think this series had enough people in it.
Look, Dan needs to be there for yaoi reasons, and I think that's fair. That's fine. He can be here for the sake of yaoi, and good. And he's also there for the sake of Yuri later on. He like talks to Yaz and stuff.
This is
Dan is truly only here for the sake of yaoi and the sake of Yuri, and I think that's beautiful.
You know what? It's Pride Month. I'll let you have that one.
There we go. Thank you. Happy Pride Month to Dan and Dan alone.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun, like, semi-companions in Flux. Also Belle, who isn't fun. She's not awful, right? She's just the least interesting.
Yeah, she's just there. She's fine. There are some bits with her that I really like. Some of the bits, especially where she's kind of on her own. Like the bit where she kind of sees... Like, she's, like, how she reacts to things like seeing fucking Daleks and shit and all that. Yeah. And, like, how she's like, well, I'm just gonna fucking get on with shit, do shit. Like, I think she has some good stuff, but she's just not, like... Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And we get... What else do we get? We get Claire. I like Claire. Why was Claire a companion?
That's alright.
Like, if I had to pick one of them to stay on, Claire, I like Claire. Because she's a psychic. We love psychics.
Psychic is good, actually.
Yeah.
Big fan of psychics, generally.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for Gate Continuum.
Yeah. And who else is there in Flux? The best character. Eustachius Jericho.
Absolutely. My guy.
Yeah. The goat.
Absolutely goated. Peak character.
Yeah. He was. Right. Let's go back to going through Flux. Yeah, Halloween Apocalypse sets a load of stuff up. You meet Carbonista. The Doctor's... You're like, division. Which is interesting. This is the thing that when I go around to listening, when they come... Have they come out? I can't remember the 13 Yaz audios. But when I go around to listen to them...
No, they haven't come out yet.
Yeah.
But we will be getting at least some of them for the Society. Hopefully all.
Yay. Good. Because I think one thing that I'm looking forward to those audios doing is kind of bridging the gap between, like, in the Doctor's motivations, bridging the gap between Timeless Children and Revolution Dogs. Obviously, that's the previous story, but, like, Timeless Children and the beginning of Flux. In terms of, like, Doctor's kind of like, oh, fuck this shit, you know. Timeless Children's just like, piss off. Then Flux, she's hunting down Division. And it's like, okay, I get it. You know, it isn't absurd. Like, I don't think that's, you know, a wrong thing of the character, but it feels like there's something interesting in the middle here. You know, it feels like we've missed a bit. You know,
something happened off screen, and you can kind of accept that something happened off screen because it feels like it makes sense for it to happen. But it would be cool to see some of that or hear some of that more specifically.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we got 13 years around that. Yeah. And then the universe explodes. Yeah. It's also coming up. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, fuck. What was it? Yeah, the first episode you get. I'll open up the heart of the TARDIS. It's the plot contrivance that I haven't used in series 1. Oh fuck, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. And then we get War of the Sontarans.
God, fucking banger.
Yeah.
I love War of the Sontarans.
I may have said this on podcast before, but it is like, at last we have finally had a Sontaran design that is better than the one in the Time Warrior. Yeah.
Really good design. Really
Yeah.
good use of Zontarans generally.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
often stories don't always know. Well, not yeah. Sometimes at least stories don't always know exactly what to do with Zontarans.
Yeah. But these ones, God, yeah, I love the armor. It's proper and heavy
Yeah.
and metal and grey. Yeah, no, the battle scenes. There's some good shit in this episode. It's
Definitely.
a fun one. And also, oh yeah, we haven't talked about the villains, maybe kind of this story. There's a lot of villains in Flux.
There's a few options.
Yeah, but Swarm and Azure.
Oh yeah, I mean, cool character designs.
Yeah,
and I like the vibes.
Yeah, they're a kind of villain I don't think we get enough of in New Who because they're cowards. But who are just like, yes, I'm going to fucking kill everyone. You see, I'm evil. And my face looks like a skull.
Yeah, that's a very good part of it. Yeah, like I said, love the designs.
They're very Armageddon factor coded.
I will believe that, having not seen it.
Watch Key to Time. It's basically like Flux, except that it's not like Flux.
I've watched Androids of Tara and Androids of Tara only out of Key to Time.
Yeah.
I like that.
I watched the rest. They're all really good. Even Kroll.
Fair enough.
Anyway, but yeah, we've got the Ravagers, and then we've got the Sontarans. Again, this thing with Flux is that it is in fact a Sontaran story.
Yeah.
All the time shit's going on off screen. That's a side plot. It's all side plots. It is one thing I will say about Flux is like, it's fine for us. It is striking me that this episode is like this and Once Upon a Time and a lot of the stuff with the Ravagers is completely bullshit if you don't not have read Longbarrow, but like if you don't know that the Time Lords invented time, right? And like if you've never heard of the anchoring of the thread, this is nonsense.
I'm trying to think. I generally don't know what like a New Who only person's perspective on Time Lord shit would be, because these people don't know any of that, but they do believe in Hellbent. So I truly don't know if it's possible for there to be a story that like involves both how I see Time Lords and how New Who onlys would see Time Lords. Yeah. There are stories that can say "fuck you" to both, but I'm not sure if there are stories that can work with both, right?
That's like, it depends what your like divergence point is, right? Like I think like End of Time works.
Oh yeah, no, fair enough. But at a certain point, New Who starts piling on its separate bullshit that is worse.
Like Time is. Well, I mean, to be fair, Flux adds quite a bit of Time Lord bullshit that is. I mean, not that bad actually.
I like Flux's Time Lord bullshit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Personally. Yeah,
it's good. It works. Because it was written for someone like me.
Yeah. This was made for us. This was not. Listen, if your conception of Time Lords comes from you, good for you. But you've got to understand this. They invented time. It's very simple. Time. Division. Division are great. I like that they were there the whole time.
Yeah.
They're just very sneaky. But
yeah, of course, makes sense.
And we see more of this in Once Upon a Time, which
fucking rules. Underrated.
Probably. I've no fucking clue. But no, Once Upon a Time is that's it's got some stuff going on. Um, we see the Dark Times on screen, which I'm not sure what I feel about that. The Doctor, like, is the fugitive Doctor. Yeah.
It's fun getting like little snippets of
Yeah.
the fugitive Doctor
Yeah,
in this story alone.
Yeah. Yeah. It also, again, while on this, like, Carvanista is older than time.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, problematic age gap for Gambonista, but I think they can surmount the odds nonetheless. But it's going to be, it's going to make things a little difficult.
To be fair, I'm not sure how much they memory wiped him. They didn't memory wipe him. They just put a thing in him that kills him if he ever tells the Doctor about it.
God.
Which is fun.
Shit, yeah.
That
sucks.
Yeah. The Vision actually.
God, Carvanista has the worst fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanna do like a what Doctor companion suffered the most thing, like Carvanista's up there, I would argue.
I mean, his entire species gets killed by the fucking Sontarans, no less.
At least when it happened to Nyssa, it was by the Master.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe.
But was it? Wait,
unclear. I mean, yeah, kind of by accident.
Yeah, I've watched this story recently. How do I not remember how that happened?
It is.
We watched that fully, on the same day as Flux.
It is fully 2 lines of dialogue in Logopolis where it's like, oh shit, Kraken's gone, and like it's very
quite quick.
It's very funny because, like, having listened to like Five and Nyssa, we'll talk about Logopolis now. It's fine. We'll talk about it as well. But like, having listened to like Five and Nyssa audios, some of them, not many, but some. Like, Nyssa brings up the fact that her planet was destroyed frequently, right? Like, it's a major part of her character on audio. Yeah. And I was expecting, like, right, this is going to be a major point in Logopolis. Nah, it's like 2 lines.
Yeah, Logopolis doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, it doesn't give a shit. We'll get that. Where were we? Flux, episode 3, Once Upon a Time.
Yes.
Oh, we haven't even met the Grand Serpent yet. Unless we have.
Oh,
we have met him. We meet him here in Vinder's flashback. Which rules as well.
Yeah, Vinder's flashback.
I love Vinder's flashbacks. Grand Serpent being like, do you want to do corruption? No? Wrong answer. It's good. Yeah. We're not going to go into the timeline of when exactly Belle and Vinder conceived their child. It doesn't make sense. It's fine.
Just got to assume that whatever, maybe for whatever reason that she's just like that.
Yeah. Vinder species. Belle and Vinder. Presumably the same species. Who knows? I love. This is the thing. Is like, not to name names, but other New Who showrunners wouldn't do this, of like doing this much like world building, talking about this kind of alien species who have fuck all to do with Earth, and it's just like, this is just their bit, right? They've got some sort of military force, civil service, and there's this guy called the Grand Serpent, and like he's a bastard and like kills people, and it's like, this is cool. I like to just see some space politics happen.
That is always good. Love a bit of space politics. Good for that.
Yeah. Right, let's see if we can think of something to say about Bridge of the Angels that isn't just it's good.
I'm trying to remember which episodes the Tunnels guy is in.
Oh,
is the Tunnels guy in that one?
he's
Because I feel
in
like
a
we've got
few
to
of
mention
them.
the Tunnels guy.
We've got to mention Tunnels Guy. I think, well, he starts off in Halloween Apocalypse. He's like, I'm going to dig these
And
tunnels.
you don't know shit about him. You just
Yeah,
see
yeah.
him being like, I'm going to build some fucking tunnels. And then
I
we
mean, it's
move
just
on.
like,
And
yeah,
it's dope as hell.
So bad. It's a real guy from history.
Yeah, Tunnel guy.
Tunnels Guy. Just like, a famous Liverpool resident. This is another great thing about Flux is, it, you know, previously the Chibnall era was like, Sheffield. That's where Doctor Who takes place. But then for Flux, it makes it up. It's like, this series is a big fan of Liverpool.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And it's really nice how it's now been canonized in Doctor Who that, you know, the show can be set in, you know, anywhere in the UK, sure, as its major home base. I think it's really nice that that's the case and that we get to go to different major cities and see different places and experiences. And I really hope that, you know, if there were to be episodes of the show made after Flux, that they continue on that trend.
Yeah.
And not just go back to fucking London.
Maybe go to Scotland. We still haven't done that one.
Yeah, we could fucking go to Scotland.
We've had several Scottish doctors, and yet, no. Who's to say?
What if we just did the Highlanders again? No,
I mean, like, have a series.
We could do that.
I mean, no, you can't. Listen, you couldn't make the Highlanders today because everyone would say. Actually, to be fair, no one would say that. It's missing. Like, who's gonna fucking be like, oh, this is just the Highlanders again? And you're gonna turn to them and be like, what are you, a nerd? That episode doesn't exist. We burnt it back in the 70s for fuel. There's like an energy crisis going on. Anyway, enough of political jokes that were hilarious 50 years ago. Episode 4 of Flux. 4, yes. Village of the Angels. A good Weeping Angel episode. And, you know, it's been a while since we had one of those. You know, it's been since, like, 2007.
Yeah. I think, the first Weeping Angels episode and the last Weeping Angels episode are good, and it should forever stay that way, and they should never make any more Weeping Angels episodes, please.
I think Time of Angels Flesh and Stone is almost good.
I've not rewatched it recent enough to have an opinion, but I feel like it isn't.
It's mostly brought down by the fact that it's utterly unbearable to watch because it is in fact an 11th Doctor and River Song episode.
Yeah, see, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, but aside from that, it's fine, I guess. Let's leave in more incredibly loud coughing. Fuck the listeners.
Woo! Fuck you!
Right. Let's be through the rest of Flux. We've got a lot more to talk about. Village of the Angels. So we do have a Weeping Angel speak, which is interesting, but it works. It does. It plays around with a lot of the dumb angel bullshit. But it's like, yeah, sure, these are just their things now. You know?
Yeah.
It does some cool stuff with it. And there's some time bollocks, and I was, like, passing out at this point, and I also couldn't see most of the episode because it was in the dark.
Yeah, I should definitely rewatch that sometime. Because, I could not see shit.
And then the Doctor gets schlomped away to go and talk to the main villain, question mark?
Yeah, I don't know if anything could be really the main anything in Flux.
This is true. There's
just so much.
We get Survivors of the Flux, which is I like. I like all of them, but Survivors of the Flux, it's what we get. Yaz, Dan, and Eustachius Jericho, who are a great combination.
God, absolutely.
We get. I think Yaz comes on to her own in this point. Almost works better without the Doctor there. But yeah, this is, Yaz doing shit. They're doing Indiana Jones shit. It's great.
Fuck yeah. God, box set, audio box set.
Yeah.
In this time, and it's just the fucking the adventures of that particular gang, and it's just that would go so hard. They're doing a bunch of like 13 era based audios now. They could do that. They could make that happen.
I don't think they're going to get John Bishop back, but maybe.
They could get someone to do a Liverpudlian accent.
Sure. Yeah. This episode also contains most of the Grand Serpent shit, which is, okay, committing more to just completely fucking the unit timeline. Just utterly just bastardized. But yeah, probably the best Kate Lethbridge-Stewart gets to be in New Who.
Yeah, fair. I'm trying to think of any other good bits. I do like her in Power of the Doctor, but she's not like massively centered on or anything in that.
Yeah,
I do like her.
Actually, I'd say maybe Power of the Doctor with the whole Cyberman thing. Yeah, but
she's got some good shit in that.
I like her in this, confronting the Grand Serpent. The Grand Serpent reveals the secret twist that Flux is a Sontaran story. It's great.
Yeah, banger.
And that we could talk about Tecteun.
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is.
So.
I don't know where we start with Tecteun.
I appreciate the fact that we're doing a different Time Lord character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are adding to the amount of Time Lord characters that there can be by explicitly making a different character.
Yeah.
Not, I don't know, bringing back some older character but making it totally different, keeping the name or anything.
Yeah.
That would really suck if they did that. Good thing it's a good story if they don't do that. And instead bring in a new character. But I like Tecteun. I mean, I don't like her as a person. She fucking sucks. But I think that she's an interesting character.
I mean,
and I think
it's a new character. She's basically just Rassilon. Like just kind of knock off Rassilon.
Yeah, but she's Rassilon that's the Doctor's evil mother.
Yeah. Which is, to be fair, an improvement, I think. Well, not an improvement on Rassilon, but, it sets her apart.
I like the fact that she does the connection that she has with the Doctor and how that's explored. I like that. I find that interesting.
Yeah, I do like. She gets to do, her silly little speech. I will say, the one line that always hits me is fucking division is simple and indescribable. It goes on to describe division in a way that I understood, at least, making it sound pretty describable but not particularly simple. Yeah, I like division. It's very Zagreus coded, like all of it.
Oh yeah.
But I also think, this is nice. Yeah, the Doctor. This is a thing that, again, New Who sometimes forgets to do, which is the most important part of the episode, where the Doctor has a chat with the villain, and they talk about themes. And then Swarm and Azure fucking show up and turn her to dust, because fuck you. It's I think the final episode of Flux is fine. It's good because it resolves the plot. It's the and it doesn't really have time to do anything else.
You've got the multiple different versions of the 13th Doctor interacting. That's in that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
I like it. I love the multi-Doctor shit in the Vanquishers. Yeah, the Vanquishers. Because it's documented, I think, on this podcast, my distaste for Journey's End, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that episode, pulls a load of utter piss to, be like, to get into a situation where you have 3 doctors, right? Well, two doctors and a doctor, whatever. And you don't even need 3 doctors for that. Whereas this one, it's like, the doctor takes off the thing at the exact time that Swarm disintegrates her. This splits her into 3 because reasons. And it's like, yeah, I buy this. This is more believable to me than the doctor something regeneration energy. And I mean, anything's more believable to me than anything that involves the words regeneration energy, because I will never believe that regeneration energy is real. It's just a cellular process. Again, Chris Chibnall, Doctor Who showrunner who understands regeneration. But yeah, Vanquishers has a lot of it is just a series of, right, let's end this. We got the Grand Serpent, which is, it's funny. Yeah. They do just kind of put him on a rock. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. They won't bring him back for a while.
Yeah, I fucking hope they bring him back. Like, they objectively shouldn't, but do it. Whoever showrunner next, like, whatever poor intern they put out. Whatever intern they pull out of the BBC cupboard to show on this show next.
Look, all we gotta do is we just need to try and find that intern and tell them.
Get them to listen to the podcast.
Maybe if we send. Yeah, of course. But if we I don't know, send images of serpents to the BBC, I'm sure that'll actual serpents. We mail actual serpents to the BBC until they put the Grand Serpent in the show.
I'd like to state that the intentions expressed in this podcast do not reflect the intentions of Matthew podcast.
They do, however, reflect the intentions of Luc podcast. I'm gonna do that shit. It's gonna be
no
fun.
relation. That's what you think. I'm actually like your secret cousin.
Oh my god, no. Of course.
Yeah. And then,
Luke, I am your cousin.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not bad. Yeah. But yeah, I do say the best part of Vanquishers is Eustachius Jericho goes out like a fucking king.
God, banger. Absolute fucking icon.
Yeah. Vinda get blow shit up. Sometimes. And then also Time shows up. Which again, a little underwhelming, I'll say. Like, I feel like in this show, the point where Time shows up should have a bit more weight to it.
Fair.
But also, it is just like, I know there is also something funny of the idea of Time shows up. It's just like, fuck you guys. Doctor, you're gonna die soon anyway. I don't give a shit. Peace.
It's a very Flux moment.
It really is. And then, at some point we learn that the Flux is made of antimatter, which makes it.
Why are they? If they're made of antimatter, they should be red.
Okay, only some things made of antimatter are red.
I think all things made of antimatter should be red. I like the consistency of it.
Okay,
they can call grassy matter all the fucking time.
So what I'm hearing here is like pitch re-edit of the Three Doctors where we put a terrible red filter over all the scenes of the antimatter world.
Yeah.
This is again the thing of like Flux. Yeah, what if there was like some sort of, disgraced Time Lord who was exiled from our universe and then decided to use antimatter to destroy it? Yeah, Tacteut. No, one of the founders of Time Lord Society. So I keep thinking of that.
God, how many fucking founders does Time Lord Society have now?
Like 4, right? Plus, like, some lesser ones, right? But no one cares about, like, Pandad or Artron or any of those fuckers.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I mean, technically, I think there's meant to be 12 people present at the anchoring of the thread. Not important. That's in fucking Book of the War, which isn't real and cannot hurt me. But yeah. I do always think of that shot in Timeless Children, where it's like Tecteun and 2 other Time Lords, one of whom's meant to be Omega and one of whom's meant to be Rassilon. And like the Rassilon one, they got the person they could find who looks the most like Don Warrington, which is fascinating. I don't know what that's meant to imply. I don't even think he's meant to be the first. Is he the first Rassilon? I guess he's the first Rassilon. I don't fucking know. But also, it's not Don Warrington. It's someone who looks like him. Which makes me think that Rassilon just had 2 incarnations who looked quite similar. Anyway, this is
you can do that.
Yeah, why not? You can do anything. Yeah.
I mean, some Time Lords can choose what their regenerations look like.
Yeah.
You know,
like the
he pulled a Romana.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Like the Doctor Who RPG from the 80s that states that, firstly, the monk was a previous incarnation of the Master. Not the War Chief, but the monk.
Oh my god, we need to fucking colorize that shit and get the fucking Master's theme in there.
But also, Time Meddler colorized, yeah. But also, the Master had several incarnations who all looked like Roger Delgado.
Interesting.
Like, I think the implied thing is that he has the 2 times we see the monk in Classic Who are different incarnations, and then after that he regenerates into several incarnations that are Roger Delgado before becoming Crispy. Also, the War Chief is his protege, which I don't really believe, but sure. 80s Doctor Who RPGs. Interesting. Yes. Yeah, Flux.
Flux.
And then it ends.
It ends.
You know? And the
Doctor
decides
with Dan and Vanista not ending up together.
Yeah. Doctor travels with Dan. It's like, sure. I mean, I guess he doesn't have a house, so what else is he going to do?
He could have stayed with Vanista.
Yeah.
I like Dan, but we didn't need him to continue to be on the TARDIS. And he did have a whole soulmate set up. But no, that's fine. He can just continue third wheeling for 3 more stories.
Yeah.
And
we
then
could have got Claire instead. And then we could have had several episodes where she's like, oh, I'm getting more psychic premonitions. Are they relevant? No. I'm getting a psychic premonition.
You're going to be eating ice cream.
Psychic premonition. We're about to be shot by Daleks. And then they get shot by Daleks. Several times.
There we go.
We're not talking about Eve of the Daleks tonight. Right.
No, but we may soon.
Maybe. I will not be as positive about that one as I am about Flux. For reasons that you'll see once you've seen it. It's not as good as Flux.
Once I've seen it, or maybe I won't once I've seen it.
Yeah, this is true. Right. Well, I think, Flux has taught us a lot. But it's time we talk about, something really important. And that is Buddhism. By that I mean Kinder.
Of course.
Yeah. I guess we're kind of over halfway through, because Flux is 6 episodes, but holy shit, we have a lot of things to talk about tonight. I mean, we've got like a whole series to talk about. We'll get to that.
Get through pretty quick. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Kinder, it's really good. I like it a lot. I think all of the shit where you kind of see with the Mara and Tegan.
Yeah.
I think that's so good. That's so like in the
Yeah.
sort of not real kind of space. That is so good. Like it's very theatrical. It really reminds me
Yeah.
of kind of theater of the absurd kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Kinder's an episode that's like makes me want to read a book. You know, it's got that vibe of like, oh, this is talking about some actual things, I think. Probably.
It makes me want to like read like the playbook of like a Samuel Beckett play.
Fair.
Personally.
Fair. Yeah. It's yeah. Yeah, the Mara, interesting. Let's talk about something. Okay, let's talk about some religious imagery. Because like it's very interesting. It does this kind of blending of Christian and Buddhist symbolism. Like I don't understand enough of the Buddhist symbolism in it. I understand that it's there. I understand like the cycles and stuff. I think one thing I find really interesting is it deliberately, like very deliberately, evokes the kind of Garden of Eden, right? And these ideas of sin and temptation. But by the end of the story, it kind of rejects that because this is not. This is a story. I'm not going to say it's a story about redemption, but it's like this story doesn't have villains, and it kind of goes against the idea that there are villains.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like at the end of it, it kind of rejects, it rejects this idea of sin, that people can be evil. It's only that they do not have the correct perspective, right? They've become centered in the self.
Sure, yeah.
And really the only, and it's kind of a story all about perspective. That's the thing that evil cannot bear to see is itself. And so the Mara can't bear to see that. Also, slight nitpick, the Mara clearly a species with multiple, there's clearly meant to be many of them. This is forgotten immediately after this story. Thank you, Snake Dance.
Ooh.
But yeah.
Hey, at least you can misunderstand the Mara far more than one does in Snake Dance.
Yeah.
But we're not fucking talking about
Snake
that.
Dance doesn't misunderstand the Mara, just
I just mean like
one of them.
Just like that singular aspect of it misunderstands in the sense of that it does like take a thing that was established and go, actually no. Yeah. Which I don't mind that much because it still to me manages to it's still got the kind of spirit of the Mara there and it's otherwise fairly accurate to it.
Yeah. I need to rewatch Snake Dance. I did not like it as much as I liked
Snake Dance. Oh yeah, no, I prefer Kinder, but if it wasn't for Snake Dance being like, oh yeah, the Mara, that's one singular entity, very powerful entity, one singular thing, we may not have gotten fucking God of Beasts bullshit.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Truly. What if you never read a book before writing? Yeah. But yeah, no. And I really like the way it kind of deconstructs the ideas of evil and of sin. There's darkness is in all of us, and it's the Mara exist within the collective mind of humanity, or whatever. Something cycles. The end is the beginning. Yeah, that's also good. It's not.
Yeah.
If you fail, you try again, and if you die, you are reborn. You try again. Something Buddhism.
Yeah. I think it does a good job of carrying those sort of themes across.
Yeah.
And like weaving that quite like naturally into the story. It doesn't like you can pick up on, oh shit, this is like saying things, but like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel, like it's disjunct from the story.
I think it also probably benefits a bit from being down a companion, especially down the least interesting companion. Like,
Yeah,
I just don't think Nissa would have fit into this story. It'd be too much.
that's the.
I mean, Tegan's not in it that.
It's-
I mean, Tegan gets like some really good scenes in like the mine, dealing with the Mara and all of that, and she gets like a bit as the Mara, but then pretty quickly it goes into Aris, and you get more of her as the Mara in Snake Dance.
Yeah, no, the Tegan scenes are very good, but it's sort of like there's actually not that many of them, which is quite odd considering that this is the Tegan thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's again that's like Snake Dance makes it into the Tegan thing,
Yeah, yeah.
And Adric is being Adric.
Yeah,
I like Adric.
I like Adric.
He's
Adric is good.
He's my favourite Fifth Doctor companion, but only when he's with the Fourth Doctor. It's funny because it's true. But yeah. What else do we want to say about Kenda?
Yeah, I very much enjoyed it. I thought the depiction of the I mean, it's not really a story that does have villains, but of the sort of the man who kind of gets sort of goes out of his mind a bit, and I think that's very interesting to see him kind of spiral there and sort of him kind of trying to take over control through this kind of paranoia and through these kinds of sort of delusions that you experience that then mean that you feel you have to become in control of everything because you feel like otherwise all these terrible things will happen. And it's kind of interesting to see, obviously with mental health and madness being so relevant to the Mara, kind of having him as sort of sort of parallel to that, I think worked really well. So I really like how that was done actually.
Yeah. And again, it's like redemption because there's also, the other guy who the Moon guy who starts off the story as just the fucking worst. But then he looks in the box, and what's inside the box? It's ego death. Or something like that. But, and then he's it's again. It is, Kinder. It's very good.
It's very good.
Maybe I'll actually watch some Fifth Doctor stories now. No promises.
They can be good.
I'm aware. I'll get to them. I've mostly because I can't be fucked to watch Planet of the Spiders, which is also sort of, but also is I don't know. I don't think that man's actually Tibetan. Oh no.
Ooh,
yeah, it's it could be worse. It's not like meant to be offensive, but it's also still Yellowface. Still not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad.
Anyway, I'll finish watching it. Need to see the Third Doctor regenerate. But I think it's time that we talk about the finale. I am, of course, referring to the finale of season 9, That being the Time Monster.
Oh, the Time Monster. That is a great story that I've still only watched half of, but I really like that half.
Baller. Well, it's a story of several halves. You'd say two, more than two. Give me a second. I need to remember what happens to the Time Monster. Tomtit.
Yeah, I remember that. Fucking great.
Yeah. So Time Monster is it is a finale, and like it knows that it is. Like, the thing is, Classic Who doesn't always do season finales, but it does a lot. It does them more than I think people give it credit for, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, right. I think, especially the Pertwee era, goes out on some pretty strong ones, and I think the Time Monster is very much, it's big. This is beyond everything. This is, kind of godlike stuff. But yeah, let's talk about it in parts. So we have the initial bit. We've got some unit stuff. We've got the Third Doctor being a fucking weirdo. It's the bit you haven't seen. So cool.
Yeah.
But got the Master it's signed in. There's some great dialogue in here. When the Master finds out that UNIT are coming to observe his device, and so he says to the other side of I've decided you will go instead. I am a lifelong pacifist and cannot bear to be associated with the military. It's brilliant. We get a couple of great supporting characters in the most 70s man possible.
Oh yeah, I think I did see some of 70s man. Yeah,
he's brilliant. He gets aged, and then becomes. I mean, there's some a bit I guess he got better, but while he is aged, is that's actually kind of horrifying. That sucks. And we also have the other side is the 70s feminist lady.
Oh yeah.
I like 70s feminist lady.
She's great.
Yeah. It's it's got its heart in the right place, this story. And that place is Atlantis.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. We have some, some unit stuff, the Master's doing a wacky science experiment. Tomtit. Then the Tomtit. Master just shouts out, "Come, Kronos, come!" Kronos shows up. It's got...
Yeah.
It's a pretty sick costume. It's a bird also, which I'm not enough of an expert on mythology to know if that's accurate. So I'm going to assume it is.
It's not, but I love it.
Perfect. Yeah. There's some really good cliffhangers in this one. The Master's calling out Kronos. My favourite one is when the Master drops a World War II bomb on Yates.
Oh yeah. That's great.
Yeah. It's fine. He lived. Yeah. We get a lot of TARDIS shit. This is an episode that cares a lot about the mechanics of time travel, but it cares about it in the same way that I care about it. That is to say, a load of dumb shit.
Oh yeah.
It's mostly incomprehensible, but it's yeah. I think the core of the story is just the scenes where the Doctor and the Master are talking. Like, especially the scenes in the TARDIS. TARDISes. Two TARDISes go inside each other. It's like the Goblins, but good.
Yeah, those are some very good scenes. I will say also another great core of the story is the bit where the Master and then the like Queen of Atlantis woman are like having a whole vibe going on.
Yeah.
I would like to shout out that also specifically.
Yeah. It's establishing that this Master at least fucks.
Yep. Yeah. Which I think you can also get a certain sense of from some of his interactions with the Doctor, but
This is the thing, right? Is that no one ever has had more charisma than Roger Delgado. Like, he's just
this is true.
walks in and just dominates the room. It's it's well, this episode only spends like two episodes in Atlantis, and yet they're brilliant.
Yep.
We have Old Man King of Atlantis. He's very wise. Shirtless guy.
Yep.
It's great. It turns into like this Atlantean romantic drama because like he was in love with the Queen, but then power changed her, and then she's following the Master, and so it does have a mythological feel to it, you know?
It's also a little bit I, Claudius.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not familiar, but...
Just vibes-wise. But yeah, no, definitely, like, yeah, I get what you mean with, like, a mythological feel. It definitely does have that kind of... Yeah.
And the fucking Minotaur shows up.
Yo, let's go!
Yeah. But in addition to that, we get, like, one of the best scenes, I think maybe all of Doctor Who, which is the Daisiest Daisy speech the Doctor gives. It's like, again, I mean, like many later writers would try and do similar things with like the Doctor talking about their childhood, and it wouldn't really work as much as it works here.
Yeah.
But it gives a perspective on the Doctor. It's very interesting. And then Kronos shows up and explodes Atlantis.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. The Lord Martin's episode is just like, yeah, fuck yeah. Oh god, we haven't even talked about Benton. This is another Benton classic.
Absolutely. Especially, I think, it's really, it's a good one to be watched, maybe like right after watching Wartime or keeping Wartime in mind. I think that really adds to your enjoyment of the story for sure.
Yeah. Especially the part where he turned Benton into a baby.
That can be a part of therapy.
I think
healing your inner child, right? Like,
I think it made him worse, actually.
There's no guarantee on that stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, and then they meet Kronos, who's now the background. It's cool. You there?
Hello, yes, I'm there.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. Meet Kronos as a big woman. And yeah, we get it's a fun ending. This is, again, going back to Flux, like, this is more what I'd want out of Meeting Time. They should have just like done a port, like a kind of dodgy green screen background of just someone's face.
I think there should be more of that generally.
Yeah. It's good. And the Master goes off to master another day and be in Frontier in Space. He is the best
watch one day.
You will. You will. You will obey me. Roger Delgado is far and away my favourite master. Never been beaten. He's
fair enough.
He's perfect.
He's very good. I don't know if I'm not sure who my favourite master would be, but he's definitely up there.
Yeah. Well, I think we've put it off long enough. We really should.
It's finally time.
Yeah, it's really
to start talking.
We've got to talk about the robots of death.
This is true. The Robots of Death, a story that we have put on at Whosock twice in my time here. I've been here 2 years. We've put on Robots of Death twice, and I will say, entirely justified.
Yeah, it turns out
completely warranted.
It fucking rules.
It's good. It's a banger.
It's a Thor and Leela story. But Robots of Death. It's great. It is a story that is about robots, which sounds obvious, but I don't know if there are any other sci-fi stories that are about robots that are actually about robots.
A lot of stories are about robots as kind of a stand-in for something else, or as signifying something else.
That's kind of inherent in robots, right?
Yeah.
From their origin.
I think Robots of Death is very much a story that is robots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Robots of Death is almost about robots being a stand-in for things. It's about, I'd say it's a story that is about the idea that we project onto robots ideas and concepts, right?
Yeah, it's about stories about robots. Which makes it the most about robots, because a lot of stories about robots are about other things.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a story about robots.
Yeah. It's also about robophobia. Concept that would then be thoroughly misunderstood in an audio story called robophobia. But we're not talking about that now.
I have heard about this, but I have not heard the story.
No. Thank you, Nicholas Briggs. But yeah, this is. Robots of Death. Yeah, it's about things being about robots, something that's tactic power. It's also the concept of robophobia. Corpses. I will not go on to the whole about robophobia is real, and this is why the internet is evil. I think it's something. What if the facsimile of the kind of facsimile of humanity and expecting something to be human, and that slowly and the lack of things, and especially the lack of the subtle signals, the things that you don't notice you're noticing, and how that can slowly chip away at your brain. Yeah.
Me seeing a bunch of fucking AI generated image bullshit.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Like that, but also this is why I think that we on the internet get used to communication through text or communication through video, and thinking that is a substitute for person-to-person human interaction, but it isn't. And I think that it breaks the human brain. I don't have evidence to back this up, but I believe it. I base all my beliefs on Doctor Who episodes. This is fine and healthy.
Yeah, Yeah, there's no episodes that will lead you astray there at all in any way, shape, or
Every
form.
Doctor...
Especially no Fourth Doctor and Leela episodes that you definitely shouldn't be basing your whole worldview on or anything. There's none of those out there at all.
Can't think about it. Yeah, Robots of Death. Should probably also talk about the visual design of Robots of Death.
Cool as fuck.
Sick as fuck. It's great. They also all have great names. I don't remember any of their names. I just remember every time I watch Robots of Death, I'm like, damn, these names are great.
Is there like someone called like Twos or something? There's some good names.
Yeah. And they've all got like insane makeup on because that's just the style of the time. And
honestly, there's nowhere near enough of that in New Who.
Yeah.
Like, people in the future or aliens or whatever having just like insane makeup. We need more of that.
Yeah. I have the wild vibes. And yeah, I mean the robots look really quite very, very striking. Yeah. And they're mining Luc and all, which we love.
Hell yeah.
We love Luc and all.
Big Luc and all fans over here.
Yeah. Long time listener to the podcast might get that. Probably won't actually. But I doubt we
mentioned it.
I'll get it. It's a joke for 2 of you out there, 3 of you out there, but I know one of you doesn't listen to this. Maybe 2 of you don't listen to this. Possibly 3 of you don't listen to this. It's a joke for Luke. And all.
Yeah. Luke. Short for Luke and all.
Yeah. I assume, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Wow. I think, do we have anything more we want to say about Le Robots de Death? As they call it in French.
That's not how they would call it in French. And yeah, that's everything that I feel the need to say.
Right. Well, I think there is one thing that we've kind of been teasing a lot through this episode. I know the audience are probably getting a bit frustrated a bit, or they think that this joke's getting old. But I think, seriously, properly this time, we're going to talk about Logopolis.
It's been a long time coming, the Logopolis talking about. You know, that's been kind of a recurring bit. You know, when will Luke watch Logopolis and all that?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's only right.
Like at least one person say that. I've heard exactly one person say that.
Exactly.
But they're one of our loyal listeners, so big shout out to them. Unfortunately, they won't like this because I'm about to slag off Logopolis. Oh, it's not a good episode.
I liked it well enough.
I
liked Flux more.
Yeah. I like Keeper of Traken more. Because Keeper of Traken's good.
I wouldn't go that far.
What? Keeper of Traken's better than Logopolis?
Yeah, I think I like Keeper of Traken, but I think I would put Logopolis above it.
Wild. They're on different levels to me. I remember
precisely what happened in Logopolis.
Okay, so
something must have happened in Logopolis.
So Logopolis is the inversion of the Time Monster, in that it's a load of TARDIS. Like it's instead of being a load of time travel bullshit that appeals to me, it's a load of TARDIS bullshit that doesn't appeal to me. So the Doctor wants to fix the chameleon circuit because I don't fucking know. That's the plot of the episode. So he goes to find a police box. Then some shit happens. Him and the Master's TARDIS materialize inside each other in a bit that they stole from the Time Monster, where it's done a lot better because it's a better episode with a better Master. I like Antonioni, but he isn't very. he isn't one of the better masters. I mean, he might be. There's a few. And some of them are bad. One of them's bad. TV movie. But yeah. He's fine. I do like Anthony Only. But yeah, they do a lot of fucking about and not much happening. The Watcher's cool. I like the Watcher. But yeah, then Doctor speaks to the Watcher. Then they go around. The Master's hiding inside the TARDIS. The Doctor is gonna flood it with the River Thames. And then he thinks, no, that's a dumb idea. Then they go to Legopolis. It takes them ages to get there. It's like 2 episodes before they get to Legopolis.
I did like the stuff on Legopolis, the place. I thought that was kind of cool. The way Legopolis was, the characters there.
Yeah, Nis is there.
I think they should have gotten there a little earlier.
Yeah, I think Legopolis is not well enough. I have opinions about the depiction of maths in this episode.
Go ahead.
This is not an episode about maths, which is fine. I just wish it would stop pretending that it is. It is an episode about computing. Like, this is an episode about computer science. It is about, making things and doing a load of tedious computation, right? Maths does not look like Legopolis. Castrovalva, that's an episode actually about maths, right? That has both, like, actual mathematics in it, right? Like this, at one point the Doctor pretty much draws a torus on a blackboard and I go insane. And it also has, like, this is, like, creating a reality through the power of logical thought. And, like, Castrovalva, not a great episode, but is about maths. Legopolis is not, and that's what I have to say on the matter. Anyway, then the Master, like, kills one guy, and this causes the universe to start exploding because of entropy. Sure.
Yeah, they have a lot to say about entropy in that one.
Yeah, I assume it's all accurate. I asked a physicist, but I can't remember what they said. So I assume
my dad's a physicist, and he talks about entropy almost as often as Legopolis talks about entropy.
Yeah.
So that's probably a good sign.
Yeah. Unfortunately, due to previous legal circumstances we mentioned, we can't have your dad on the podcast again. But yeah, Legopolis, like, I mean, this is the thing, right? If it's building up to this whole thing of the Doctor and the Master have to work together, and then it does nothing with it. Like, they do a couple of calculations, and they run to a thing, and the Master immediately betrays him. And it's like, oh, that was it? We've been building up to this since season 8, and, like, that's our payoff of the Doctor and the Master having to work together.
Yeah, it does feel a bit underwhelming.
Yeah. And the ending is, like, it gets a bit, like, overly convoluted. Just like with, is the universe ending or not? Is the Master... And then the Doctor has to pull the thing out. It's like, okay, this does actually all make sense, but it is not presented in a way where it is immediate in the, like, you have to sit down and think about it, which distracts you from the, this is meant to be a tense moment. Yeah. I like Tegan. I don't like Nissa. She should have stayed on Traken. I mean, that would have meant she died, but, yeah. Again, we talked earlier about the fact, Traken gets destroyed in, like, 2 sentences.
Yep.
Yeah. And then...
Yeah, that's... But no, Tegan is good. I like Tegan's introduction. I do like that.
I actually also really like the Thor and Adric dynamic. That's probably the best bit of this story is Thor and Adric.
That's really good.
I mean, I prefer it in Keep It Tracking because it's a better episode. Um, but, you know, the Fourth Doctor treating Adric with utter contempt. Just no respect in the slightest. It's good. It works.
Yep.
It's good. But yeah. And yeah, that's it. The
That's Megapolis.
Doctor dies. You know, the Doctor, you know, regenerate, the Watcher shows up. The Watcher's cool. But yeah. Yeah, and then the Doctor dies, which I guess is quite a good segue onto the final thing we have to talk about. Not quite the final thing we have to talk about, which is, you know, also a story that features the death of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And of course, talking about the chase. The chase!
What a story!
What a fucking story!
Fucking story! Oh my god! Just marvelous.
It's
just beach episode supreme.
We've got the beach episode. We've got episode 2. No one cares about episode 2. We've got the one where they go everywhere and they meet Morton Dill and they land on a boat. Don't know which boat. It's a boat. They never tell us what boat that was.
Say. Like, I honestly think they were far too vague about the boat.
Yeah. Like, I could really have done... Like, I think they might have shown it on screen once, but I was looking away at the time. So I really think they could have shown it on screen like a couple more times and then mention it in dialogue. I mean, they have to mention it in dialogue.
I feel like it wasn't on enough of the screen. I feel like we just saw it kind of somewhere at the corner of the screen. I feel like we would really need to have some dedicated shot to the name of the boat, right?
Like a slow zoom in.
I love that.
Also, a baby dies. Also, a Dalek throws himself off a boat for no reason. It's a brilliant episode. Also, Morton Dill doesn't die, which annoys me. I think he should. Then we get episode 4 of The Chase,
which is absolutely legendary.
Yeah, I mean that's the right word. It's Dracula.
Yeah.
We get some great First Doctor shit of him just being completely fucking wrong.
Which is so peak for First Doctor shit. He's Bro's got to be wrong. This is crucial.
You see, Chesterton, we've landed inside the land of fiction. Actually, it's just a theme park, Doctor. Parker.
Oh, what a story.
What a fucking story. And then we get episode 5. There's the Robot Doctor.
Yeah.
And also fungoids.
Yo, let's fucking go. Fungoid sweep.
Appears to be some sort of living fungoid, Doctor. That's not what Ian sounds like. That's not what Ian sounds like at all. Fuck it. I think it's...
What it sounds like now.
I can't do it. But yeah, fungoids. Or garbage cones, as they're known. But they're not known as that. They're known as the fungoids. Oh, they're brilliant. Also, this episode's great because Hartnell and Hartnell Buddy Double just fight each other.
Pig.
It's like really quite well choreographed.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end of it, we get a reveal of a prop that cost them several £100 to make and is on screen for 6 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Which is the Mechanoids.
The Mechanoids, absolutely. Which I feel, is a monster that is deeply relevant.
Yeah.
To many things.
Yeah. And we meet Stephen. He's lost his mind because the mechanoids have kept it in like the human enclosure for years.
At least he has hi-fi.
He has hi-fi, and also his tower that he's made that goes up to the roof that has no railing, and everyone keeps just standing on the edge of it.
As you do.
And then they decide, right, we've got to lower Vicky down. She starts panicking, so they're like, right, she's going out first, we're going to blindfold her and just like throw her off the edge.
Yeah, it always works.
Yeah. Also, like, the plot of James, like, the Doctor's like, don't worry, I'm working on a plan that will defeat the Daleks. Nearly done. It turns out this plan is a fucking bomb. Fucking blows up.
Hey, that could work.
Yeah, it does. And then the Mechanoid City sets on fire. And we get an insane fight scene. I love the Mechanoid Dalek fight scene. It does really well. It kind of, it makes it look a lot grander than it is, because it is just like 3 Daleks and 3 Mechanoids, just kind of plinking at each other. But it also, it captures that kind of chaos and energy of everything exploding. Very in line with the rest of the story in that it's fucking mental.
Really good.
Yeah.
The chase is peak.
Yeah, and then they escape. Stephen survives somehow. Don't ask how. He just does.
You know how it is when you're Stephen.
The gang steal a Dalek time machine, which, that's such a cool idea. More people should steal Dalek time machines, fly around with them.
Yeah. I think that's definitely something that should be used more in stories, for sure.
Yeah, and then they blow it up. And then said London 1965. It's brilliant. It's a good episode to watch with other people. I can confirm it's fucking miserable to watch alone. It's not. It actually picks up a lot. Watching alone, episode 3 is a lot less fun. But it gets better. Watching alone, episode 5 and 6 were my favourite. Because they have a plot.
I can imagine episode 2 watching alone would be.
Oh god.
A little more of a struggle.
My dad joined me for that one.
Okay.
I don't think he was really watching. We just say it's better than Death to the Daleks. Because it is. Right. That's the chase. Some other things we can give a passing mention to. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Thoughts?
Good story. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually the most Torchwood of all episodes. What else have we watched? Keeper of Draken. We've talked about that already. It's good. Has Crispy Master.
Castrovalva.
It's not good. It's not the worst Doctor intro, but that's just because there's a lot of competition. It's a very bad way to introduce your Doctor, I think.
I prefer the Twin Dilemma.
I haven't seen the Twin Dilemma, but I can imagine preferring the Twin Dilemma. Because
I think Castrovalva right at the end gets better, at least.
Yeah, the last bit of Castrovalva was good.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of it is let's fuck around doing bullshit in the TARDIS no one cares about. Let's put the Doctor in a coffin. It is the thing of like, if you've gone from Tom Baker, you've just finished watching Tom Baker, right? And then you're on to Castrovalva, it's like, this guy's the new Doctor? This guy? I'm supposed to think that he's cool? And the 5th Doctor, gets better stories. But if you just go off Castrovalva, you'd be like, oh god, he sucks.
It's not a great introduction.
He's just worthless. But yeah. Right, anything else we want to talk about before we finally I think we've done enough
Yeah,
delay.
I mean, I think we've done a lot of delaying. There's obviously the big thing
Yeah,
that has been that I think everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sure people want to know our opinions. It's time to talk about the latest series.
We've got to do it. We've got to do it.
Time to talk about Series 4 of Gate Continuum.
We're well on our way through Series 4 of Gate Continuum already, and I'm afraid that the fans have missed out on getting a weekly recap for
We're
a while.
going to have to speed recap. Well,
I think especially if we speed through this quite a lot, because who's to say, but you know, perhaps in future there may be another episode of the podcast that is far more focused on Gate Continuum.
Yes.
Coming as we are to the finale.
Yes.
So I think for now, just a good quick recap would do well.
So, well, we can talk a little bit. So I'm sure I've forgotten everything I want to say about it. So, yes, we left off last time. For those of you who may not remember, for those of you who are new to the podcast, you're not still listening. You tuned off when we were talking about Flux. That was like an hour ago, I think.
Fucking probably. So to those who aren't new to the podcast, because that's the people who are here,
you will remember.
Back.
Yeah, you remember the last series. The party saved Stanak Gamma from Dalek invasion by letting off a genocide bomb. Which, you know, just because it's called a genocide bomb doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad. It just indicates that very heavily.
Sometimes it's fake.
Yeah. They saved Danik Gamma from Daleks. This got them in some trouble for what we call fucking with history. Or major interference. That's it. Okay. Should have written those down. Yes. The Time Lords plucked them out of their timeline to put them on trial. So,
and there we were at a trial of the Time Lords.
Yeah, something like that. So what were your thoughts on opening statements?
I enjoyed that one definitely. I think it's obviously such a kind of dramatic opener and way of starting things off, like you chucked in there. I think I'm very glad that we have Grey Fox, who really carried that one. I won't lie. Although, you know, there were some interesting moments for some other characters. I think Duncan had some interesting stuff of kind of wanting to plead guilty, and of course, you know, not to toot my own horn, but
the mind
there
probe.
may have been the mind probe.
Yeah, that layers unlocked his memories.
At what cost?
Yeah.
We'll find out, maybe.
Yeah. But no, this has.
I fucking hope we will.
Yeah. This has subtly been the Grey Fox series. I don't really intend it. It just kind of ended out this way.
Yeah.
That's because James is insane and studied actual laws. Grey Fox defended against a lot of charges, did some good lawyering, managed to get parties subjected to the mind probe, which, you know, you don't see people willingly taking a mind probing frequently. Most because it's horrifically painful and might kill you. They didn't really know that. It's fine. Bentley got to learn a few things. That were
There we
definitely
go.
not.
Always fun.
Yeah. Um, yeah. And then they, they basically just found some post-it notes, really.
Yep.
Oh, fuck
Post-it
it.
notes that have led us on a quest.
Yes. Led you to a time ring. Now tracking down whatever fake conspiracies going on.
Yes, we shall learn, I'm sure, at some point what the conspiracy is. But for now, we're just time ringing about.
Yes. First, it took you to a planet of ashes. That's the title of the episode. Yes, our second episode, Planet of Ashes. So, this one and its second part, which was called something else. What's the second part called?
I don't think I was there for that.
What?
I swear I wasn't there for
a
couple of the ones this season.
I know someone wasn't there for that. I thought you were there, but James wasn't. Never, not important.
Maybe. Unsure. I've been not there for some of these.
Yeah. Planet of Ashes, and I can literally get this up on the other tab, what it's called. I will remember this. I've been with podcasts for a while. It's making me go to the Reality Eaters. Yes, but yes, this was something of a different episode to me, though it maybe fell back towards my standard stuff later. But it was they landed on planet. I had a name that I can't remember, but it's more commonly known as Orphan 122.
Oh yes, of course. We got to get in that.
So in what? And much like Orphan 55, this one's also a horrifically unsubtle climate change thing.
Hell yeah. You need some of that in a season.
It's important. It's important. This one is asks the important question: what if climate change was like bone creatures that turned you to ash?
And the answer to that is it wouldn't be very good. The story would be. The episode would be good. The situation, however, would not be.
Yeah. Also, there's a bit of fucking around in this one of not having a translator circuit. You can't understand any of the languages. Grey Fox could understand some. It was funny. Yeah.
Good bit.
Good bit, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, there was, this is also where the gas leak. This series has been a little deranged for various reasons, such as exams, and also we do it in a windowless room with poor ventilation.
In Milburn House.
With
a clock on the wall that is stuck at a time that is incorrect.
Yeah. And quite possibly a gas leak. We have no evidence that there's a gas leak. It doesn't smell like gas, but it's the only explanation.
I believe it.
For the episode, Isaac concussed a few people. Bentley lied profusely.
Many such cases.
Yeah. And yes. We'll do plot summary for those who are following along at home but want to know the context for everything we'll talk about in weeks to come. But yeah, they on the trail of someone or something, evidence tampering, they searched around this planet, discovered it's an orphan world, it's been abandoned, treasure hunters looking for a dynamo that's a theoretical infinite energy source. There's there was Galacorp, Galacorp Corporation, in fact, who, you'll never guess this, an evil corporation who wanted to take the energy source.
No.
And then they all fucking died. But yeah, they discovered that this dynamo was in fact a thing that like burns up the fabric of reality for energy.
Which, you know, it's a snazzy concept, I'll say.
Yeah. But this burning, or it isn't the fabric, it's the stuff between dimensions. This allowed in creatures from one of the border dimensions who are, the corporeivores. They're one of the few kind of monsters that I've really done in Gate Continuum. Like, I mean, there was the cold from It's Cold Outside, but that was an incorporeal bugger, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any others. There's been some robots, and there's been like Daleks and Cybermen, you know, which is, you know,
Yeah.
and the Raston Warrior robot. But those are all, you know, established things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really think. I guess Stricture is kind of monstrous. She's also a villain who talks a lot, so it's kind of a middle ground there.
Not like just pure, well, that's a fucking creature, it's gonna get you.
Yeah, exactly. So the corporeivores can't be reasoned with. It's just hungry, you know? They hungry. Much like our listeners.
You know, I think, I was going to say that really calls back to our original question for the listeners.
Yeah, you see.
I think that shows how much of a level we're on with the listeners, how much we understand.
How good at, you know, we're really put together. You know, it's so planned and structured. It's good. But yes, that was Planet of Ashes and the Reality Eaters, and they got to the dynamo and opened up where it was meant to be, and it wasn't there, and there was a bomb, and then they time moved the fuck out of there before they died. Yay.
There you go.
This timing landed them on the SS Warata, which some of you maybe will know is a real boat that mysteriously disappeared. Probably sank by a big wave. Much like a large amount of our characters' memories, but not a large amount, but about a day.
Which was definitely an interesting concept for the kind of trying to figure out what did we do and what is the significance. Which was good, and the sort of colourful cast of characters. Very much, you know, kind of suspects in a whodunit kind of vibe. I really like that. Sort of very classic mystery kind of energy.
Yeah.
Because there was, in fact, murder. So, excellent.
Murders, in fact, unrelated to Party being knocked out and having their memories right. That was by and having the timing stolen. That was by some time traveling guy who
Bentley did not like.
Bentley did not like, and did not like Bentley. It's not that he didn't.
Out just fine.
Yeah, it's not that he didn't like Bentley. It's that he thought Bentley was. No, he didn't like Bentley. So he's an idiot.
Yeah, I think he didn't like Bentley. I picked up the vibe of him not liking Bentley.
Yeah. Got on well with Duncan though in the next episode.
Which Bentley would have been very angry to know about if it wasn't for the fact that he was absolutely off his head on cocaine.
Yeah, well, and morphine, and whatever else was in that tonic.
Decent amount of things in that, yeah.
Yeah, but Bentley got to try, being in the year 1909, Bentley got to try some of the local medicine. Completely out of it, the session. So nothing to do with the fact that Luke wasn't there.
Yeah. Just so happened to be that was the case.
Yeah,
you know how it is.
No, how it is.
It's already planned out for him to just go on a massive drug trip that episode.
Well, I'm sure that's what you'd have done.
I actually think
yeah. There's a whole mystery. There was a gas on board that feeds on feelings of regret and guilt, and made people kill people because they're hungry. It's like the sex gas from Torchwood, but very different.
I think many things can be described as like the sex gas from Torchwood, but different if you're really willing to go hard on the different part, right?
Yeah.
Many things are like the sex gas, but without sex and without gas.
I mean, some things are also things that could be described as sex gases, but are completely different. But I don't know what those are.
Yeah, and I think, maybe if we ever review Zygon on the podcast, maybe that'll become... But I think until that moment, perhaps it is not.
100 subscribers, we review Zygon. I'm promising this now.
Fuck yeah. Let's fucking go. Everyone, get everyone you know to subscribe. And then we
make everyone unsubscribe.
And also maybe that one book about the Eighth Doctor, you know the one I'm talking
about. The Stranger. The Stranger? Yeah. Yeah.
Because the Stranger is also like a fucking thing with Colin Baker, so it's like but I think the Eighth Doctor porn might also be called the Stranger.
It is.
But yeah.
See, he has amnesia in that one as well.
Of course he does. It's the Eighth Doctor.
Yeah. Anyway, the boat sank. But luckily, through Duncan working with this time travel, they managed to make a stasis field so they could use the timing to escape. That's another important thing. The reason the other guy had stolen their timing was because he was trapped here because there was some sort of temporal anomaly that made it impossible for him to leave this boat. This has not been explained yet. It will be, probably. Unless everyone forgets about it, in which case... But yeah, they escaped. Then they landed on the mining station, which is called that. In the dark. Yes. In the future / the past, depending on where you're from. Or when you're from, rather. But also...
Indeed.
Not the past. Insofar
a different past.
Yes. So I would say an alternate timeline, possibly caused by their actions. Which features mining and humanity enslaving the Ood a lot earlier than they got to the standard timeline, and some shit about Dalek Wars or whatever, and Mechanoid.
Absolutely, this is the true sequel to The Chase. Here it is. We have it.
Yeah,
it's Mechanoid time.
Yeah. We got Great and Bountiful. That's the next episode. Oh, I forgot to name. I need to name all the episodes so that the listeners at home can know what the episodes are called.
Yes.
I've forgotten what those two are called. It was something, and then The Fate of the SS Borat. Yeah, and then we had Great and Bountiful, in which Grey Fox started a news rebellion and a workers' rebellion. Yeah.
And good for them.
Yeah. Then we had today's episode, which I've also forgotten the name of, was it Power of the Mechanoids?
Yes, this is true.
Yeah. Really, that title doesn't make as much sense because that should really be the title of the next episode, but that's fine. I thought you'd get to where you're going now quicker because I didn't think about it. The power is meant to be a part.
Mechanoids.
Yeah.
The Mechanoids have power. Yeah. Clearly.
It works. It works. But yeah, which the Mechanoids showed up, put down and captured the party pretty much. Also, there was a lot of fucking around with mining lasers. It's planned.
Yeah. And big old ships with mining lasers attached. And yeah, part of the party ended up captured by the Mechanoids, and the rest of the party sort of captured themselves by stowing away. And now we're off.
Yes. Heading towards the Hand of Peace. It's like the Death Star, but different. It's got Mechanoids.
It's peaceful.
Yeah.
It's nice and peaceful. It's chill, and it's friendly, and it's super peaceful. Great, I'm sure.
I mean, who knows what you'll encounter there? Probably more Mechanoids. But perhaps, just maybe, you'll find answers to the questions you've been asking this whole time. Like, is there a plot? And has Matthew lost it?
I cannot wait to find out the answers to those questions.
Yeah. And, of course, they'll have the big reveal that the main villain of Gate Continuum is the Valiard.
Sure. Yeah. I'll go with that. Sounds like a fun time.
It's actually going to be Mavic Chen.
Oh, I fucking hope not. Why did they mention Mavic Chen? Why would you fucking do that?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It won't. I can promise you this now. Mavic Chen will not be making an appearance in Gate Continuum.
Good.
I get a mention. But yeah. And yes, we'll have to see the thrilling conclusion over the next few episodes, next couple of episodes. Next week's episode is known as Peace. We'll see if there will be peace.
We shall discover. And so shall all of our listeners when we put out the next episode.
Yeah, which, who knows when that'll be? Next week, probably. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, I don't think there's really anything else more to say other than Series 15 was fucking dog shit.